Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 2, Episode 16, Lit the Right One In. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcast Network and youtube.com/WeArePodcast Network. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast, so what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. and if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
This is Javi's pick, right?
Yes, it is.
Javi's movie. Okay, cool.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time, live on Twitch. I am your head camp counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head camp counselors. First, we have David, Squeal Like a Pig, Squeal Jessup. David, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm pretty good. I can't wait to talk about this movie because it makes me uncomfortable.
Yes, very much so. There are some scenes in this movie where I went, why the fuck did they show that? Then I went and checked out why they showed it, and I went down a rabbit hole that we'll discuss. Next, we have Jay. I'm 12, but I've been 12 for a long time at Clinton. Jay, how are you, sir?
Truer words. Truer words. I'm doing just fine. I'm really. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, it should be an interesting conversation or a short one. We'll see. I don't know how much of this is.
We'll stretch it out.
Finally, we have Javi. Are you a vampire? Virez. Javi, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic.
Yes, fuck yeah. Oh, were you showing off your tattoo there?
No, I was just doing a pose. I'm fantastic.
So this was Javi's pick, 100% dead. What's that say? Dead inside. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Look at that shit.
The best pick Javi has made yet, I will say, with a bullet.
To be fair, my bar was not set very high.
No, Biohunter is pretty good.
In what world is that movie good, bro? Even I got it. That was trash.
All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Let the Right One In, a Swedish film with the Swedish language, which is beautiful to listen to. But pretty cool movie. We got Bjork in our group tonight. So David's actually Bjork, just so everyone knows. It was released October 24th, 2008, with a running time of 114 minutes, and it fucking feels like it, Hobby. Thank you for letting us watch it.
Is it Bjork from Iceland, not Sweden?
Yeah, but her name, it's the only Swedish name I could come up with.
All right, budget of $4.5 million with a box office of 11.2. At least it made back its money. Set in Stockholm suburb of Blackburg in 1982, Oscar, a bullied 12-year-old, dreams of revenge. He falls in love with Ellie, a peculiar girl. She can't stand the sun or food, and to come into her room, she needs to be invited. Ellie gives Oscar the strength to hit back when he realizes that Ellie needs to drink other people's blood to live. That makes no sense. Okay, that she needs to drink other people's blood. How much can love forgive? How much can love forgive? I have no idea. This movie was long as fuck, and there was a lot of stuff that did not need to be in here. The novel is a lot more detailed, of course, and it takes some other twists and turns that are nowhere in this movie. The American version of the film, I'm going to say off the bat, think it's better. So fight me. Fight me!
Oh, Doc, you're stealing my thunder, bro. Stealing my thunder.
All I'm going to say is it is a better film, but this wasn't bad. I think if I saw it inverse, I might like this version better.
Doc, read my handle.
Jay McMoritz was better. Who's more? Chloe Moretz. Oh, okay. Chloe Moretz, who was, yes, the lead character. I liked actually the female in this one better, the girl in this one better. But I think that all in all, this is just a long fucking movie. And my girlfriend said Swedish movies just tend to be that way. And I think that where it really gets me, and we're just going to get into talking about it, is the little path they take where they have like the locals and the girl gets turned into a vampire, and then she has them open the blinds, and she turns to fire, which is cool looking, but severely not needed in this movie. I felt like it really took away from the movie. I don't think the American version has anything similar to that, but at the same time, I like this a lot too. I mean, I'm talking shit on it already, but it's a beautiful movie. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. There isn't a single shot that you couldn't, take a picture, still frame of it, and post it. There's a couple you probably wouldn't want to. You might go to jail. David saying it's making them uncomfortable. But like, it feels like a Polaroid picture come to life, and I really, really like that. And I thought that was cool. All right, guys, get into it. Javi, first, you go. Why'd you pick this movie? I bet you fucking love it because you're a hopeless romantic, right?
Well, that not only that, but I just fucking I think I saw this in 2011 for the very first time in 2010, 2011. And I remember just like I was over the fucking Twilight shit. I didn't like that shit. And this was like my first, like, this is probably like the second vampire movie that I really enjoyed, with my first being Interview with the Vampire. And that's the number one movie for me when it comes to vampires. This is a close second with What We Do in the Shadows. You know what? Let the Right One In will be my number 3. What We Do in the Shadows will be my number 2. But this was like a really different take on it, other than Interview with the Vampire. And I just really liked it. I like the story. I like the fact that, like, even that, like, her first guy, that she probably was going to do the same thing to Oscar as what she did to him. Just use him for his life, just so she could keep living, and then eventually move on. It's as romantic. It's a grift. She's a fucking long-time grifter. She's the immortal con.
Now, what you're basing that on is the American version, which I like the idea, and they do this only in the American version. This is the Swedish version. I thought was the same. In the American version, the character who's the adult, who's the father figure, who's the whatever, she basically tricked him when he was a child into doing the same thing that she's doing to Oscar in this. That's not what's happening in the Swedish version. In the Swedish version, the character's name is Hakan, and he's actually a pedophile who was a teacher who got in trouble. And she found him when he was really down on his luck. He was a drunk. He was basically homeless. And she offered him money. And she said, if you kill for me, I will pay all your bills. I will take care of you, but you have to bring me blood. That's what's going on with this character, because I look further into it. And he is a pedophile, and he is in love with her. And that's why before he drops the acid on his face, he says, Ellie, you know what I mean? Because he has this connection to her. But no, it's a completely different story than the American version. And the American version does really very much, I like that take on it a lot better. But go ahead, Javi. Go ahead and finish.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's not in the movie. It's only in the novel. But this is based primarily on the novel, of course. The American version did that twist, which I like a lot better. I think that's an awesome fucking twist. I think it's super cool. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, but either way, I just really like the fact that it was just like he had a crush on her. And then like I think she may have actually really liked him, at least in the movie was. I don't know anything about the book. I didn't even know it was a book. But either way, I'm a fucking hopeless romantic, and that kind of like struck that chord with me. And I really liked the comeuppance at the end. And it doesn't pay to be a bully. Because otherwise, you're going to get severely fucked up.
What a cool scene, too, right?
That was really well done. That was really
cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was fucking brutal, too. It was so fucking good. So, being a hopeless romantic, you believe in young love. Do you think that this could actually last? Because I don't.
No. Unless she turned him, no. Yeah. She's not going to turn him, though.
No, I don't think so. I don't think she enjoys being a vampire.
No, she fucking hates it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of gathered from it. All right, Jay and David, what do you guys think of the movie? I know you said you had a lot to say.
Go for it, Dave.
Jay, it's making me nervous that you're just like putting yourself last.
I saw the movie when it came out in the theaters. I heard a lot of buzz about it. A lot of my artsy fartsy friends were raving about it, and I went and saw it, and I absolutely loved it. Still love it today. I love the fact that it doesn't tell you a lot. It kind of just lets you just kind of figure things out, and I think it tells you a lot in its subtlety. There's a great scene when he asks her not to see the kid that night, and you can kind of see that he's jealous.
Yeah.
You know, and he also knows that his time is ending. You know, when he goes out to kill the last time before he gets caught, he's like, well, what else am I good for if I can't do this? And I love that he prepared for it by bringing the acid. Like he knows that his time is up. What a great shot that was. I don't think that she loves Oscar. I think that she knows, like when she touches his arm and is caressing him with her fingers, I think that's just her getting to the mode of like, I got to get this little boy to fall in love with me, because I need a new one. I need someone new to take care of me. And it was real. I thought it was a great scene when he tells her not to go visit him, and he looks at her, or she looks at him, and he can tell that it's over. That it's almost like a couple breaking up, and the guy realizing that his girlfriend or wife has a new lover. And it was just really, really devastating in that moment. He could just tell the way she looked at him that they were done. But yeah, I loved it, man. I think it's great. The whole pedophile stuff that's in the book, I'm glad they kind of left it out, because I think it just would have muddled it.
I mean,
down.
you got to look at the subtext of the film. She's basically a pedophile too. You know what I mean? She's over 200 years old, and whether or not you count her being 12 for a very long time as permissible, this is a 200-year-old creature that is preying on a 12-year-old. And that I think is,
she's manipulating him.
And that creeps me out more than anything. And like, that's not the story that they're telling here. And I know they don't want you to look that far into it. So I know it's a love story between two 12-year-olds is the way you're supposed to look at it. But at the same time, like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, holy shit, like this thing, like when they show the scene later on where she says, be me, and then it shows what the creature actually would look like it's wrinkled and older, and the blood trails are just indented in the face. I'm like, that's the true version of Ellie right there. That's so fucking creepy.
I thought you looked like Shelley Duvall when she was a vampire.
Thank you for lighting it up, Jay. I'm sorry. I took it. This movie is something else. Jake, I forgot. Yeah, history with the movie. Thank you, David, for throwing that in there. I guess history and what you thought, Jay.
I have no history with this movie. It is a day old to me. However, I made the unforgivable sin of seeing the American version first, and I saw it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And at first, when y'all were talking about it last week, I was like, man, I remember liking that American version. Everyone's clowning on it. And then I was like, after I saw this, I was like, okay, they're pretty similar. So I didn't. I didn't look up reviews for Let Me In, the American version, until after I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, the world is with me on this one. That it's phenomenal, and it's like that's all I'm going to really say about it is that Stephen King really loved it, and some people have gone on record as saying it is the definitive remake of all time, which is big words, obviously, with all the movies we've seen. So I saw this one, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the cinematography was amazing, tons of wide shots, music was done really well. I will say, as a movie, this one is better. As a horror movie, the American one kicks the shit out of this one, just because it wanted to be a horror movie. I think this movie wanted to be a love story. And in that regard, I think it succeeds remarkably well. And it does, and I know the scene you were talking about, Duck, the scene where she's changing, and you see whatever you see, and I'm like, that was awkward. So I looked up, and apparently Ellie was born a boy. The vampire was born a boy.
This movie is a trans allegory in some way. That because literally I was like, what the fuck? Why did they show that? They're showing the castration scars is what they're showing. And that's why it looks so whatever it looks like. I was just like shocked that they showed it to begin with. So I had to go down that rabbit hole to find out. But basically she was a boy named, I believe, Elias, who was castrated by a very rich, wealthy person who I believe was a vampire. And then she was turned. So when she says to him, like, what if I wasn't a girl? She's implying that she was born a boy. And like that it was not, I always thought it was implying that she's a vampire. Because it's even in the American version. They don't show the castration scar, thank God. But yeah, that really took me back for a second. I was like, well, Jesus, what the fuck? But I'm in a relationship with a trans woman. You think I would have saw some of the fucking signs of like a little bit of the story happening here, but I didn't see any of it. So I was in the book, they go way further into it, and they actually deal with a lot of the feelings for the boy of Oscar. And like, you know, he's bullied and he's called faggot a lot. You know, one of the first things I dealt with whenever I went into my relationship with my girlfriend was, are people going to look at me like I'm gay? Because they're not going to understand the trans part of it. They're just going to jump to gay immediately. And I realize that's something that people think, but I feel like, you know, I always tell people I'm in a straight relationship, but the fact that the boy felt the same way, he's like, well, are these kids right? Are they? It's just a thought process that goes along with it. And the book goes even further into like the relationship and how she feels about it and all those things. I haven't read the novel. I just, from what I've read, but it was an interesting kind of, you know, thing. But at the same time, like I'm sitting there going, like, it kind of does the trans community a disservice too, because to say that she's trans because that's the only choice she has. I think she chooses to be a girl because it's actually a lot more. And you see this in the movie. What's the word I'm looking for? She's able to attack easier. I think she's considered safer because she's a girl, if that makes sense. So I think she uses it more to prey, especially like when that guy walks down from the drunken night and
he
she's
just,
like
picks her up.
Yeah, she's like, help me, and he just puts her in her arms, you know, or puts her in his arms. I was like, oh, okay, she uses this also to prey, and obviously she's using it to prey upon Oscar too, if you look at it that way. Depends on how you're looking at it, whether or not this is a story that's a love story or this is something else. So
well, I mean, can it be both though? Can't she be using Oscar but also falling in love with Oscar? I mean, I think those are two things that can happen at the same time.
Possibly, but at the same time, I mean, you buy the love story, you buy that they fall in love, you do, and like you said, you get the idea that she's not in love with the caretaker at all, you know, and like I said,
maybe she was at one time, you know, maybe she was, and then eventually he gets older, and you know, he becomes older and weaker, because if you notice during the killings, he's really struggling. You know,
he's not doing a very good job, is he?
Like, yeah, I get the idea that he used to be good at it, but they have to keep on moving because he keeps on fucking up, and he basically is becoming useless to her. I would love to, and I know I'm not a big fan of, you know, I don't think a movie like this needs a sequel, but just out of morbid curiosity, like, how did they go about getting food for her now that she doesn't have a man, you know, helping her out? Now it's just Oscar. Like, does he start luring in men that are pedophiles, you know?
Well, that's the thing, is she was looking, well, I mean, that could be one route that you go, absolutely. But I mean, she was prepared for this because she had that golden nugget, whatever that was
so
hidden
cool.
inside the egg,
Yeah.
you know, so she was prepared to live a life. They could live a life where they lived in a nice high-rise building and all the Uber Eats every night, if that was a thing in 1982. But she was prepared for the time that she would have to do that, obviously. She was just waiting. And like I said, she was taking care of the caretaker. She was paying for him. That was the deal. She would pay for everything, and he would kill and murder. And so she had money, whether it came in from, like the boy said, you take this from the people you kill. She said, people give this to me. I don't know what that means, but I don't know if she was trying to say it in a nicer way. She was trying to manipulate him or not, but obviously she's got the cash to survive. So
man, I tell you what, I got a big pet, even though they don't really go into it, I just got the biggest pedophile vibe from that relationship. To me, it felt like there was definitely some sexual favors being done in that relationship, and then she started pulling away.
Here's how it happens in the book. In the book, he agrees to go out on one last kill. He realizes that he's done, like you said. And he only agrees to go out and one last kill, and this is going to sound terrible, if she lets him sleep with her, but not sexually, just touching and stuff like that. And so that when he goes out in the one last kill, that's whenever he actually dumps the acid in the face, and then everything kind of happens the way it does. She drains him of blood. He falls out of the window, blah, blah, blah. But he actually survives the fall in the book and becomes a vampire. And there's another character named Thomas that's not in this, who's actually Oscar's friend, who ends up killing him in the end.
Does he regenerate his face, or is he stuck like in that scarred state forever?
I don't know, but it's scarier if he's in the scarred phase. I know that.
That was a cool effect, man.
That
Wow.
was like to me it almost felt like the Elephant Man, the way he looked.
Like John Hurt.
Just so like he's so fucked. Like, dude, like dude, no more dates for that guy.
Yeah.
Like one way or the other.
He wasn't a looker to begin with.
Right. But he was pretty good looking before the acid when you do a side by side.
You know what, Jay? I think my biggest issue I had with the American version, two of the biggest issues was
let's hear it.
The actress,
Grace
Chloe. Yeah. She's not androgynous enough.
No, she's way too pretty.
Yeah,
way too pretty.
And my second one was there's over 50 CGI shots in Let the Right One In, and I challenge you to name them all because they're so subtle and they're done so well you don't see them. Whereas in Let the Right One In, man, there was some awful CGI.
You mean Let Me In?
Yeah, Let Me In. Especially when she attacks the guy underneath the bridge, that was done so poorly. It just totally took me out of that movie. So her being not androgynous stuff and the shitty CGI.
Well, okay. Well, I would definitely agree with both of those points. However, I do think she overall does a better job for me because what Chloe Moretz can convey that I didn't see at all from this girl was sinister. And I thought Chloe Moretz played sinister
I agree with you. Yeah.
way better. She played the manipulator way, way better. But if you looked at a lot of the roles she did around this time, like she was in Kick-Ass, she was in 500 Days of Summer. I mean, she always played this kind of like, this very coy, worldly. A lot of her choices around this time were kind of reminiscent of like Jodie Foster when she was her age. She took on a lot of roles that were very mature for her. And this is another role where, she's playing a 200-year-old vampire. And I thought in that regard, I thought she played that way better. Whereas this girl, I think she played the innocent a lot better because, like you said, she is more androgynous because she's quote unquote, in the world's eyes, probably, considered less attractive than Chloe Moretz. And so she kind of has to use the tools God gave her. And she does.
They also did something interesting where they brought in a older actress to overdub the voice, so her voice was deeper. So that
Shelley Duvall.
Poor Shelley. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her.
They actually had an actress dub over.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They wanted a deeper voice. It's the whole trans thing is what they wanted.
Well, yeah. Didn't you read, Duck, that like at the very end they even like you wanted to have her go up an octave or something like that, so it became even more androgynous. That's what I heard too.
All I know is that they wanted to play on, like I said, the trans allegory, which I didn't see any of it, or a lot of those things, where whenever she's talking to Hakan, who's the caretaker, and she's using the deeper voice, she's trying to threaten him, but also that's her real voice. You know what I mean? And if you're trans, that's not something you can change. You can pitch shift your voice, but unless you want to go to like Korea or Vietnam or wherever it is and have the surgery where they actually mess with your vocal cords, there's nothing you can do about your voice. You can only pitch shift,
Exactly.
So that's something that she's doing, and that's something that they wanted to play on.
That's fucking crazy. I didn't know they had dubbed over her voice. When I first saw it, God damn, is that kid smoking like 5 packs a day?
Well, you really have to applaud the sound design on this movie too, because that plays such a huge role in it. The sound of the eating the flesh, the drinking,
the sound of her, like her stomach churning.
The underwater
water
sound.
scene where you hear everybody screaming, but it's like super muffled.
By the way, did you guys notice that the way the guy was holding his head underwater was physically impossible?
What do you mean?
So what I mean is
his arm was twisted
underwater. His arm was twisted, because the way the kid's facing the wall. He's actually, which is the camera, and the way the guy was holding his head, he would have to be completely behind the kid. The way he was holding his head.
Shit.
Maybe he was triple jointed.
Yeah,
you know how those Swedes are with their triple joint.
Let's talk about the subject matter too. Is that the Swedish have always been a more sexually liberated country than America.
Europeans in general. Yeah.
In general, yeah. I think if we in America, if we get that same scene that's in the Swedish version,
Oh yeah, totally.
without a doubt, it's getting the X of death.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Well,
and
it was that was a mannequin they used.
Oh,
Sure,
thank
but
God. Yeah.
even if they used a mannequin in America, I just don't see it.
Well, the
I just
same
don't see him
scene
doing
is in Let Me In. It's just they don't cut to the area of the body that they cut to in this.
So
They don't
not
cut to
in the movie.
Yeah,
Not in
so
the movie.
so they just show the reaction of the boy though, and so it's the same scene, but they don't do that part because that really did shake me. Where I was like, "What the fuck am I watching for a second?" And
It's
then
such a
once
split second
it
too.
is
yeah,
it's a big whoa.
yeah, and I mean, it was just for a moment. I was just like, okay, but then after I read what it was, I was just like, man, I wish I was smarter to put two and two together because the fucking everything was there in the film to tell you what was going on. It's just I'm fucking stupid. Anyhow,
Don't worry, Duck. No one got it. No one got it.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't just you. I didn't get it either because you're led down the path of, I'm not a girl. Would you still like me? Oh, it's because she's a vampire.
Exactly.
So
right.
You don't see that. You don't see that coming, which is why it's such a great. I mean, it's like a sleepaway camp reveal. You're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, a little crying game, a little sleepaway
Like
camp.
I honestly didn't know the trans thing until you brought it up, Doug. Like watching it again, it's like, okay, she's obviously meaning vampire.
Yeah. Well, and I think
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just said that scene actually kind of reminded me of a Dogma. I'm not kidding. I was like, oh, she's an angel. I mean, like,
well, that's what I thought too, but I couldn't figure out what the scarring was.
That's
a great movie, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, that was very, and I wasn't like, and I'm not a big fan of subtitles, but you had to watch the best thing about being American with a movie with subtitles is you have to pay attention because you can't passively listen to a movie in a foreign language that you have no idea what they're speaking. So you go, what?
I wanted to bring up the music in this. The music is fucking killer. I think it gives it a lot of its soul. It doesn't have like a specific motif or anything like that. It just is so the ambiance of it is just perfect for the movie. And I guess like it's just because it's slow, you know what I mean? Just like the movie itself, it's slow and it allows itself to build over time. The other thing is there's a couple cool scenes, and that's mostly what I clipped. The violence in this is so visceral, whether it be whenever she jumps on the guy's back and she takes him down and then she snaps his neck. Like that
was amazing.
Yeah, and that's visceral. Whenever they're cutting him out of the ice, you see the ice log and you see his head resting on the side, actually facing the camera. I was like, holy shit, that's crazy.
How about the when the body falls from the hospital?
That was so fucking good.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So when they show violence, it feels real. And that's what I think makes it real, because you've got this slow story going between these two adolescents, falling in love and just their, what might remind anyone of their first romance. And then you've got this visceral violence, and it reminds you that life is short. And even if you're a vampire, you never feel like she's safe. I feel like she's in more danger because she's a vampire, because she has to go out and kill to feed. And then they show her in the tub during the day. And then you're just like, holy shit. And I guess that's why they show the subplot of the older woman burning up in the blinds. It shows you how dangerous it is to be a vampire, because it didn't take much sunlight for her to go up flambe. You know what I mean?
I love that choice in a lot of vampire movies where, like, I guess it was the remake of Fright Night, where like sunlight's an insta kill.
Yeah,
like it's not like like if it touches you, you're done. You're done, son. And it's like, I think that's a very I think it really does level the playing field of how powerful vampires are for something like sunlight to be just like it's like flash paper.
Yeah,
they're done.
It goes up quick. Boom.
By the way, I think that's a pretty decent remake too.
Fright Night, yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, to me, we were talking about our favorite vampire movies. Fright Night is my number one of all time.
I love it.
I love the original. The original.
Yeah.
The remake is fun,
but
that
first one
is a pretty good job.
Yeah,
I saw that in the theater, and that was an audience screaming type of movie.
That's a perfect 80s popcorn movie.
Oh yes, it was.
Perfect.
It definitely was.
It's bomb.
Hey, did you guys, speaking of vampire movies, don't want to get on a tangent, but did you guys ever watch Innocent Blood?
Oh yeah, with the one with Anthony LaPaglia.
Yeah, and that
Anthony LaPaglia.
beautiful French actress.
LaPaglia. I love saying that name. Yeah, that movie's great, man, and it's kind of like Innocent Blood, guys. If y'all haven't seen it, Innocent Blood is kind of like a female version of Blade if Blade fought gangsters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so vampires meet the Sopranos.
Absolutely.
And what was the girl's name again?
I don't know. I think she was in La Femme Nikita. Is that the same actress?
Is that the woman
The
from
French version?
the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? Her?
No, she was in the Nikita show. Let's go look her up real quick because it's gonna kill me.
And
So,
Parlad?
That's her name.
oh, I thought it was the Nepalia or whatever you kept saying.
Oh, that's
Natalia- Anthony.
Natalia.
Oh, what? And remember, what's his face is in it, in the old comic, and
Don
he,
Rickles.
Don Rickles. Oh, he's so great in it, man.
Great death
Oh,
scene with John
yeah.
Rickles.
Talking
Kim
about
Coates is in
getting,
this?
huh?
Kim Coates is in it. I fucking love Kim Coates.
Dude, you gotta watch it, man.
I'm gonna watch that shit today.
Gotta watch it for LaPaglia.
All right, let's get back to Lit the Right One in.
sorry.
Let,
We
It's all right, all right.
My
let the
fault, my fault.
LaPaglia in.
Lit the Nepalia in. So yeah, I mean, what else is to really say about the movie? Do you buy the love story? That's what it comes down to. And are you okay with the love story? Does it make you uncomfortable? Like it makes Stuck uncomfortable? Because she's a pedophile. That's why. Javi, what do you think?
Honestly, I do buy the love story because it seems like this is just my interpretation. I think he was like the first person that ever took the time to show her anything or like actually like give her gifts and shit like that and teach her things. Like he taught her Morse code. He taught her how to do the Rubik's Cube and shit. I don't think she ever got any of that from the caretaker. And
Yeah.
I think that like he showed her something different than what she was probably expecting.
I'd like to jump in on this. I
Yeah.
think this is the first time that she had a relationship with someone that was her age. I think for the last 300 years, she was always hooking up with weird pedophile guys to take care of her and seducing them. And I think this is the first time she had like a 12-year-old relationship. So I think maybe that is why she's actually really falling in love with him. And we keep on saying she was a he at first.
Well, I mean,
Which
she's
is
definitely
okay.
yeah,
It's
she's a
okay.
she at this point in the story. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she's
And I
been-
think
she's been
that's the thing
castrated
is-
for 300 years.
I think the
know.
conversation's different now too, because this movie was made in what 2008. You know what I mean? And I think the conversation is completely different. But I think that is something somebody who's trans, they definitely deal with. You know, that's part of this. What's it called? Dissociation. That's not the right word.
Mhm.
Dysmorphia?
Dysmorphia. I know it's not that either. Dissociation. I think that's the right word. But that's part of it. The whole thing is like feeling certain ways and working through them and just trying to find out who you are as a person and to get on to the other side of that. You know what I mean? And so it complicates the matter even more because she was castrated. She wasn't turned into a female by choice. And that's where it becomes like, how much is this a trans allegory and how much is it not? How much is this a brutality that happened? You know what I mean? Because she could still choose to be a boy. Because, you know, somebody who's trans, they would say they were born in the wrong gender. Whereas this is a forced into a separate gender. You know what I mean? And that's why she says, I'm not really a girl. And I think that's why she uses the visage of being a girl to prey on people. I really
Manipulate.
think
Yeah.
And you know, just to play on that a little bit, you know, you could tell that she's not happy being a vampire. She hates the fact that she's got to kill. Much like if somebody's going through, let's say if you're trans, you hate the way how you are because you're taught by society, oh, you're just fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's why she like almost cries when she snapped the fucking guy's neck at the beginning. She's like sit on top of his body. She just like curls up like a fucking kid in a fetal position. She's
she
like,
doesn't want to kill. You're right.
She's like, I fucking hate being like this.
I've always looked at the comparison like the vampires movies. It's very much like being a heroin addict, where you don't do heroin to get high. You do heroin so you don't get sick after you get addicted to it. And I think it's the same with a lot of vampires, especially with her. She's not killing because she enjoys to kill. She's killing because she's going to get sick. And it's like dope sick. You know, she's got the chills and she is, you know, just her stomach is just dying inside. And so I always think that's a kind of an interesting connection.
just to self-correct myself, the term is dysphoria, and I apologize that I couldn't think of what it was. But no, I think that's the thing is I like what you both said there because she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to kill, and she's obviously that's why she's willing to pay somebody else to do it for her, so she doesn't have to deal with that. And then she sees a little bit of the brutality of what Oscar could do, or at least she thinks she does, because once Oscar actually sees the violence, it doesn't seem like he wants anything to do with it at all. That's why I'm sitting there going, how's this relationship going to work out if she is expecting him to go out and kill for her, or maybe by the end of the movie, she finds that she can kill for him because she does kill those 3 boys and she smiles afterwards. So maybe she realizes that she's
that's
okay
why
with it.
I like to think of them moving into the future where what they do is they go out and they find people that deserve to be killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we might get a version of that because there's a television version of this book and movie being created right now for Showtime, I believe. So there's a possibility we could get a longer, more interesting, more complex version. And there is a sequel comic book with the author, who is a comedian, by the way. I thought y'all would appreciate that. He is a Swedish comedian. He actually disowns the comic book, but I thought that was pretty cool. He got his start. He'd been doing comedy for a long time. He'd been doing comedy like 15 years before he wrote that book. So
very cool.
Yeah. What else do you guys think? Is there anything else about the movie specifically? Like I said, Jay, does the love story work for you? I guess I didn't get to ask you.
Yeah, it really does. More so in the way that I think what's good about, I love movies that we all have biases, right? We all got biases when we watch movies and we judge things. And so at first we see their relationship and we're like, what's going on with him? That guy's shifty as shit. And then all of a sudden he douses his face in acid and you're like, okay, well, this movie definitely took a turn. And then, yeah, there's a lot of grooming going on. You can tell there's just a whole lot of grooming. And I believe she does love him as much as she can love anybody. But yeah, like y'all said, man, when she's a vampire, she looks exhausted. Like after she kills someone, she when she looks at Oscar, she's like, I'm getting too old for this shit. Like it really feels like Like I know I'm making light of it, but it really does. You can feel her exhaustion, and I think that's one of the stronger parts. And then I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was her real connection with somebody, maybe ever.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where things go.
Yeah.
I think there's in my perfect ending story, I think she will eventually turn him. I do.
Yeah. What a killing duo that will be.
I also just want to say, I wish that actress had done more movies because she was fucking great.
Fantastic.
I think the last movie she did was in 2013. And it's like, fuck.
She was really good. The idea of her having to continually get caretakers reminds me of a movie with David Bowie called The Hunger. And
him and Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon. Yeah, but that's another thing where you have a vampire, a female vampire that has a caretaker or a lover, and eventually that person goes away, so she has to get another one. And so it's that idea of continually having to re-up. So you think about with this movie, Let the Right One In, 300 years, how many people has she had to get to be her caretaker?
Right.
And in the beginning, was she just killing people? And then she eventually got sick of it. So then was the old guy, the guy that killed himself, was he her first caretaker? Did she kill people? And then after a decade or eons of doing it, she finally got sick of it. Who knows? I think does the book even say that?
No, because in the book, like I said, he's a pedophile that she pays. And I don't know if it goes into further detail about that, because I think she was like an apprentice to another vampire or something like that. But I think that you're hitting the nail on the head. What's interesting, and they did it properly in Let Me In, is that they attack that by saying, instead of the caretaker idea, that she has not only seduced this child, she has seduced before, and that person is the person who's taking care of her. I think that's a more interesting idea. I think, is it Elias Cotier who plays the caretaker in the American version?
No. Elias Cotier plays the detective, which is a brand new character that wasn't in this one.
Yeah.
Richard Jenkins plays Thomas. Thomas is the caretaker.
And that's what's interesting to me, that the kid ends up finding out that he's just one in a line of different ones, and he accepts that and he goes with that. That's what stuck with me from that movie, where I was like, holy shit, she's done it before and she'll do it again. Like, it's so evil to say, but like,
when did that movie come out? How soon?
2010.
Oh yeah, that's why a lot of
Pretty
people
fast. That's why I think I didn't like it.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's why a lot of people consider it to be the greatest remake of all time, and I can see their idea. So like we watched The Fly a couple weeks ago. David, would you say The Fly? Would you say that's the greatest remake ever? Would you put that right there at the top?
Hands down, yeah.
See, this is why a lot of people say this one's better, and it's The Fly didn't have very big shoes to fill. Let Me In
True.
had massive shoe, and then the director.
It came out so soon,
and well, it's because Americans don't like subtitles.
So soon after the original.
Right. Well, I think the only reason why Americans got to make it is because even the director of the first movie, it's not his story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not an original piece. It's an adaptation of a book. So I think they were allowed to. I felt like there was some more leeway with that.
But also, what you just said, this is probably one of the most original takes on the vampire story ever, and that's why I think people like this story and it resonates with them, because they know vampire lore. They know all the little things. They know that she has to drink blood. They know that she has to ask to be let into a room or else she'll bleed out or whatever happens. You know, we know these things in vampire lore.
That was a great scene too.
That was very intense. And it's the look on her face, the blood covering her face, the way that she doesn't clean it off immediately. It's freaking creepy. But you know all the vampire lore. And so the fact that this still allows you to have vampire lore, but at the same time shows it in a different way and shows in an adolescent and a character that's supposed to be innocent but does these evil things. It's just a unique take on it. Go ahead, Javi.
Can I get your guys' opinions on something? The scene where like you actually see the actual age. Do you think that that's how she is, and the way that Oscar sees her is how she's portrayed throughout the rest of the movie? Like maybe that's her like breathing like, oh fuck, his eyes are closed. I could finally not have to like keep casting this fucking spelling. Keep this image. Maybe like that's her actual appearance and when her Oscar is like visible, his eyes are open, she's just gotta like sink it in like I guess like she's like a changeling, just shape shifting back to a 12-year-old girl.
That's an interesting take.
I don't think she has to change her appearance. I think what she was doing was showing him in his mind that she's actually a very old person. I think because she was turned when she was 12 years old, that's just her appearance from here on out.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I wonder, I am curious.
Wait, David, are you saying that all the times when you see her being older, that's like an illusion?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's when she's telling him, she's basically telling him, see me how I am. And so she shows him what she really looks like. And I don't think she has to try hard to be her, because when she's in the bathtub sleeping, she's her 12-year-old self, And I always love that about the vampires, about how vulnerable they are when they're sleeping. I think that's always a great thing.
How about the cats attacking the lady?
that to me that felt like it came straight out of Sleepwalkers.
Yeah.
Oh, did it? Dude, I was laughing my ass off, and I don't think I was supposed to be, but I laughed so hard.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one scene I was like, okay, that's a direct ripoff of Sleepwalkers, because Sleepwalkers is also a vampire movie.
Oh, where are we going, David?
Sorry.
He's going to get some Sleepwalker stuff?
He's got it. All right, guys. Is there anything else about the movie you want to talk about specifically? Anything at all? I was shocked we got this much out of it, because I just felt like it was a very long movie. It's beautifully shot. But like I said, I've got issues with like some of the subtext of it, especially the pedophilia.
I got to be honest with you, Duck. I don't think it's subtext.
Yeah,
I think it's very on the surface. I don't think it's not coy to me at all. Like I'm like, yep, that's where they're going with that.
Yeah.
They
And
really
that
do.
one shot where I'm like, I don't think we needed that. I think that
That was
is what
that was an art shot. That was definitely a Criterion shot right there. that was a we went there.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends.
It is shocking, though. It is. Well, I mean, immediately I went and told my girlfriend. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this shot meant. And I don't think I liked it. And then I put an incognito tab on my phone to look up what it was because I was like, how do I work this? I don't want Google tracing me on this. All right.
That's hilarious.
That is awesome.
All right, guys. All right. Do we recommend it? Let's go down the line. David, what do you say? You recommend it?
I recommend it to people that like watching foreign films and subtitles. If you don't like watching subtitles, don't watch this movie. But I think it's one of the best vampire movies ever made. I think it's beautiful.
All right, Jay, what do you say? You recommend it?
I mean, I just have to completely agree with David. I mean, it's I actually never the length of it really didn't bother me. But I
wasn't bothered by the length either.
I thought the pacing was just fine. I thought the boy, I thought Oscar was very engaging. He's such a believable getting bullied type of kid. So his story was really good. Yeah, it's definitely. Oh, and I want to talk about my favorite scene in the movie is when he whacks that bully with that stick. Dude, I jumped out of my couch and screamed when he did that. I was like, to the face.
Yeah.
And then, but what happens? What happens? The bully gets down screaming, and he gets in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what you get for standing up for bullies.
When it comes back at the end, when the brother shows up with the knife, I'm like, holy shit, this kid is.
Yeah. Okay.
I knew that he was going to be saved because I'd seen the American version, but I was like, I bought into that scene, hook, line, and sinker. I was like, holy shit!
Like, do these guys rule the pool? Is this like, this is their turf?
Well, it is really fucked up because it's like, are you really going to murder this child? You're going to drown him right now because he beat up your little brother? You know, like it was. I mean, because 3 minutes is obviously, way too long. And also, did you notice that she let that one little girly kid live?
Mhm.
Like she killed all the kids at the pool except for the kid that was kind of scared and sitting on the bench.
I thought that was kind of. I thought it was kind of ambiguous when I saw it because I was like you saw what she did to the other kids, and he's just sitting there, and I wasn't sure if she was like quick death or if she let him live because I didn't see him moving.
He was moving. He was alive still.
I just didn't see him moving. That's all.
Javi, do you recommend the movie? Of course you do.
Absolutely. Well, I'll also go in the same vein as David. Be careful who you recommend it to. Don't just recommend this to anybody because now there are a lot of people be like, oh, subtitles, fuck off.
Not a first date movie either. Definitely not.
No.
Let's watch it. Let the right one in. It's rather romantic. Oops, look at that.
Never call me again.
Where you going? The movie just getting started. Oh, yeah, she's gone.
Oh, I'm being reported? Okay.
Hey, you like the scene where you got to see the crotch? Huh? You see that? Let me talk to the screen guy and see if he can rewind it for us.
Yeah, it was. I recommend it. It's a good movie. I recommend the American version over it. It's shorter. It's sweeter. I think it's got more interesting stuff.
They're the same length. Almost to the second. It's the same length.
It's better. Hands down, it's a better version. That's all I'm going to say. And it's more. When I say it's shorter, I guess I feel like it's more compact. Like it's just there's a lot more going on.
It's scarier. It's a more aggressive movie. It's got a more aggressive soundtrack. It's an American horror movie. That's just it.
I think Jay really hit it on the head. It's more of a horror movie.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
is almost more like a love story.
Yeah. And I also, the director, Matt Reeves, I'm a huge fan of Matt Reeves. That's why I can't wait for his version of the Batman to come out.
There are packs of fans that have decided to bridge the gap between both movies, where in their mind, they almost look at the American movie as canon.
What do you mean? Like it's a continuation?
Like it's its own thing. I mean, there are a lot of similarities, but at the same time, it's a very American movie. Like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Swedish fans like the American version better because it's something outside of what they're used to seeing. You know what I mean? Like it's we like this aggressive, American horror movie that's also kind of borrowing from us. It's cool. Everybody wins kind of thing. I mean, like The characters don't have the same names. They do a few things different. You know, I mean, the overall linear stuff is pretty much the same, but you know, they really kind of stand on their own. I really
Kind
feel
of like a
that way.
reimagining instead of a remake. Would you say?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like that's the biggest reviews it gets is that they call it inspired without being, disrespectful or whatever. So that's that's the way I look at it. Can't go
All right.
wrong.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
Let us get to some clips then. Do not worry, I did not clip that one scene.
Jesus.
All right. Hopeful. Oh, I realize he gets bullied too because of his shitty haircut. Isn't that why he gets bullied?
I think the He-Man cut works, dude. It's 1983 or 1982. It's in.
Like, as a kid that was bullied, all going throughout school, I really wanted to bully this kid myself.
Were we all bullied? Jay, were you bullied, Jay? You weren't bullied.
Here, do I look like I was bullied, guys?
Yeah, no, you don't. Were you?
Well, here's the deal. When it came to me is that I did get bullied, but I also stood up for myself rather quickly, so that helped me get bullied for very long.
All right. Right on. That's what I was wondering. The rest of us, though, were bullied pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
I would bully this kid because he plays with Smurf toys. I didn't know any kids who played with Smurf toys.
I was bullied until I hit my growth spurt, and I became 5'11" in like 9th and 8th grade. And so as soon as I hit that growth spurt, the bullying immediately stopped.
Yeah.
Good for
I
you.
was bullied, but I was the person who protected the younger kids from getting bullied, if that makes sense.
No, it
That was
does.
when I
Yeah.
got older.
You were the gatekeeper.
I was the gatekeeper for them, man, because I hated that, because I hated how much I got bullied. So whenever I got older, I protected those little guys. So
I learned how to lip box, and so I knew how to fight bullies back
Nice.
with some brains.
I wish somebody would have taught me how to fight when I was a fucking kid, because the one time that I stood up to my bully, I punched him in the face, he punched me back, then I punched him, he punched me, I punched him, and then I sat down and cried because it hurt so bad. I was like, oh, they hit back. I forgot. All right, murder. By the way, murder.
Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna kill you.
Excuse me, huh? Yes? You have the time? I don't have a watch. What's that? Oh, this, it's called a holothane.
I loved his kill kit, by the way.
Fucking amateur doing that under a
No,
fucking
no.
street
At
light.
first, I thought he was kissing him.
Okay. Why is he killing him out in the middle of the park?
He's an amateur.
He's given up, is what it is. He's just
Oh,
tired.
I think subconsciously he wants to get caught.
Maybe.
Point.
Like, you can literally see the traffic going behind them. Like, he's right off the highway. It's ridiculous. And literally, that other person had just walked past him 2 seconds before that,
Yeah.
too.
They're still within earshot of that kid.
Like, he's like on a road. Here's this fucking Ricky dog, son of a bitch.
By the way, how bright is it out there? Jesus.
I know.
This is a very bright movie. It's not. It's just not very. It's just not very dark in general.
Yeah, but you can literally see the stadium lighting in the background there. Look at that.
It's super bright.
All right. The Jungle Gym, which is the classic of this movie. It's the shittiest playground I've ever seen, but I like when she jumps off it.
We had one of those in the projects in New York.
The exact same?
Not the exact same, but just like a little playground.
Inget.
Yeah, but usually there's a swing set and a slide, not just a jungle gym, right?
It was just a jungle gym.
Oh, really?
Bor du här eller? Ja.
Do you live here? Yeah? I live back here in the jungle gym. Seriously, where do you live?
Men var bor du?
Next door to you.
Hur vet du var jag bor?
How do you know where I live? That is cool as shit.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I'm not. The effects for this movie were
I
so
can't be your
fucking well
friend.
done.
Just so you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
The scene where she climbs up the hospital.
Yeah.
We got that coming up. Rubik's Cube. So you're back. I don't need your help. Me neither. Then go home. You go home. I lived here way longer than you. I gotta read it because of the podcast, dude.
Oh
Okay.
shit, that's right. My bad, bro. I
Yeah,
forgot.
just listen.
No, make fun of him. This motherfucker's spitting.
My bad, Doug. I'm sorry.
It's fine. What's that? Yeah, it's gonna be a weird podcast if you just hear the Swedish. It's a Rubik's Cube. Is that some kind of puzzle?
I wonder if, like, David, you dated in the 80s. Was the Rubik's Cube a go-to for you when it came to hollering at chicks?
No, because I could listen. If you were a girl, girls were not interested in Rubik's cubes at all. They found
Really?
it annoying because every single kid, every single boy was into it, and so they just found it stupid.
So they were like the fidget spinners of the 80s.
Yeah, yeah. I was awful at it too, man. I used to peel the stickers off to try to get it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Correct.
Yeah, did anyone ever complete one of those? Because I didn't.
Nope.
One time.
Yeah? How long did it take?
A couple months. I'm not gonna lie. It took me about 2.5 months just to get. I wasn't a very bright child.
I'm not a very
I was
very
also
bright
very
adult. It took me like a half hour to figure out this movie didn't take place in current times. I was like, oh, like these clothes are shit.
It doesn't really seem to matter the time period. It's
Nah.
sort of like because here's another thing I was pretty upset about. It's 1982. No ABBA anywhere.
Good point.
Takes sense on me.
But I do like the fact that he's listening to like Swedish pop songs of the day. I
Yeah.
like that. But no ABBA.
Murder. Are you hurt? Can you get up? No. I can't. Come here. I'll carry you. Take you to a phone. That's when I started to realize that this was when he said take you to a phone. That this thing was there. Oh shit!
You get like a wrestling move on him.
Like a bear
Wraps her
hug.
legs around- Yeah. That was a really bad scene and Let Me In. Oh, yes.
Oh snap!
But she does that
Oh.
but it's like it's a humane thing to do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Also,
Well,
so
yeah,
he won't
because you
turn.
don't want him to turn. We see what happens, and I guess that's why that's in this movie too. But like you see, like when the older woman starts to realize that she's becoming a vampire, she chooses death over drinking the blood. You know. All right, we got a repeat, meaning he doesn't do a very good job. Oh wait. Oh, I didn't realize I said repeat because I thought the same thing that she was trying to get another kid to grow up with and be the caretaker. But this is that scene. Could you do me one thing? Or could you do one thing for me? Will you not see that boy tonight? All right. He does look jealous.
Yeah, totally, man. Oh, you know they were fucking. Or as much as they could.
God.
Look at that. Look at that. That's our like, okay. Okay, that's all you get.
God.
Sucks at murder.
This movie can be reshot as one of the funniest movies ever made.
We should reshoot it with a laugh track.
This guy really does suck at murder. It's almost infuriating.
He's terrible, dude. He's so bad at it.
Well,
He's like,
that's the thing
he's
is, I
not-
think he used to be good at it, like when he was younger. But now
I
that he's
agree
older,
with
he's
you.
starting to really, yeah.
I think that's right. I think he realizes he's past his worth at this point.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's
but
what he says. What am I, why am I here anymore? And yeah.
even a
If I
killer
can't do this
outside of
for
their
you, I'm
plan would
useless.
know, hey, maybe I shouldn't kill somebody with their friends waiting outside the door where I could see them. still.
Or maybe not stare in. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, Jesus.
What a way to go. The hospital. She's gonna climb that wall. Spider Kid. Spider Kid.
That's so cool.
It's fucking gnarly as shit.
Two-Face.
Harvey Dent got
Looks
nothing
better
on
than
me.
Two-Face.
It really does. It's really good special effects.
Say
I
that.
love the sound of her flying too. Here you go, baby. Come get some.
The split nose fucks me up.
Yeah, right. That's
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Man. Oh, it's so good.
Boom.
Oh. Boom! Oh,
Happy
Fucking
birthday
brutal.
to the ground.
You see his tongue slide out too as he dies.
Oh, it's so gross.
Schmack. That's what we're smacking. Oh, this is your scene, Jay.
There it is.
Isn't that so, little piggy?
This fucker's got the biggest collie.
Watch out, we're gonna get you.
Yeah, look at that badass with that nursery rhyme. That's how the bullies roll in Sweden.
Wham!
Oh!
Brutal.
So triumphant, dude. So
Brutal.
triumphant.
Just didn't suck it.
I did that once where a kid kept on bullying me, and my dad was like, "You punch him in the stomach as hard as you can, and if he comes at you, you punch him in the balls." And I punched him in the stomach, and that's all it took. He never bothered me again.
No
There you
shit.
go.
That's the way to do it, man.
Oh, I froze.
I got
Body
in trouble.
in the ice.
Got sent home, and my dad was like, "I'm proud of you."
Oh, that's awesome. Body in the ice. Look, you can actually see the face pointing towards the camera. It's fucking trippy. We'll do this little close up on it here in a second.
That's a Paulus car.
Vamp attack! Blam!
Gotcha, bitch.
I couldn't figure out why they kept following these minor characters though the whole movie. That bothered me.
They're pretty much kind of replaced or by Elias Koteas in the new one.
Yeah, the detective. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I was just couldn't figure it out. But I guess I get it now that I've watched it and I've had a couple days to think about it. But I love this scene and I'm gonna laugh. Cat attack! Oh my god.
This is a CGI scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hardcore.
that's not good. I didn't like that scene.
Luna, stop right there. Come on, tell me what happened. This looks so freaking.
Yeah, it's almost like Muppet comical.
That's
Yeah.
hysterical, dude.
It's like, I can see that in fucking Evil Dead.
Yeah, it wasn't. I did. That's one scene that I could have done without.
No, keep it. It was worth it, dude.
That's pretty bad.
I love it. Sun attack. All right, open them blinds, bitch.
Ataque de
That's
Sol.
a beautiful.
This is badass, though. It is pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Suck it, bitch.
All right, invite me in. So I just wanted to get. I thought this was fun because he was kind of, messing with her, having like a little game of like, yeah, you can come in, just seeing how much was true. And it's so
And
sad.
did you also notice how she also dressed up for this? Like this was like
Aw.
her like, I'm gonna seduce him now.
Well, she looks so happy too when she shows up. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause- and then I guess it's probably a big deal because she never goes to the door. She always goes to his
Yeah.
window.
Yeah.
So
But this kid's running on like Mr. Get Bad, and he's like, "Yeah, I fucking whacked my bully with a stick. I'm Mr. Get Bad."
Get bad. She's sweating blood.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that, but I like that.
So fucking dope.
And then this shows whenever she shows who her real self is.
Be me for a while.
Thank you, Hobbs.
Jack Torrance is showing up.
There, that's so freaking sad.
Snälla Oskar. Bli mig lite.
All right, the bullies get it. That's the get bad energy right there.
Get out of our pool.
You stay underwater for 3 minutes. If you do it, I'll just nick you. But if you can't, I'll poke out one of your eyes. An eye for an ear, right?
No, that's not. It's eye for an eye, you jackass.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, David.
Yeah.
Impossible.
He does got it twisting around there.
No, you can. That's possible.
But
Yeah, he's got
look
it
how
too.
look how it is though.
Not for Duck, because I can't
When
turn
he's
my arm.
dunking him, his hands like that, but when they do another shot, his hands
Yeah.
like this.
It's not very ergonomic.
Jimmy.
That sound. The sound design is so good.
I like too that they show that there's a bigger fish. You know, that there's a reason that Connie's the bully that he is.
Yeah.
You know, because he's got the older brother who's a dick, and then whenever he comes up to him, they even say that, like, you know, I guess we see who wears the pants in that house or something like that. It just shows that there's always a bigger bully, and that's
I love
usually
that.
the case with most bullies. Here it is.
I love this thing where you just see his feet. Just
Yeah, it's
Oh
so creepy.
shit!
Yeah, this scene is way, way better in this version because it's bright. I love the brightness of it. You get to see everything.
It's absolutely brutal. Oh,
I got you.
and it's that smile just conveys so much. He really didn't think she was coming back, you know.
no, yeah.
And so what he Morse codes here is the word kiss. He says kiss, and then he says kiss. Where are they going? Where are they off to? What is the adventures from there on? Who knows?
Sunrise, sunset.
Gonna let the ride run in.
All right, guys, that was Lit the Right One In. That was Javi's pick. I don't have any recommendations. I don't know any movies other than the movie Thirst, which is a South Korean film that I was going to recommend that's about vampires, but I've never seen it. Do you guys have any recommendations for horror/love movies or romance movies?
All right, if you like vampire movies,
innocent blood.
It's a good one.
I'm on,
And
if
The
you like-
Hunger.
If you like
Oh,
vampire
yeah.
movies, my recommendation is going to be Interview with the Vampire.
You're right. That is kind of like a romance/horror movie, and it is bomb. That movie is so good. Definitely holds up, and it also has the young version of a vampire and how they would behave with Kirsten Dunst in it. So what a good movie, though. Fucking killer movie. Holds up.
Mike Louie.
I remember that being like a big deal because they were gay basically. And like everyone was talking about it like in the 90s, are like, ooh, it's so salacious. And then I watched it and I was like, this movie fucking rocks. But we weren't allowed to watch it for a long time for that reason. So anyone else?
Vampire movies.
Or
Vampire
just
in Brooklyn, Eddie Murphy.
Oh, horrible.
Near dark. Near dark.
Near Dark's pretty damn good. And I always recommend Fright Night, the original.
Yep.
Probably the first meta vampire movie would be
Yes.
Fright Night.
Very meta. Yes.
Yeah, we
Totally
should definitely
agree.
watch that at some point. The original Andy
Yeah, I'm
McDowell.
so shocked none of us had ever thought to do Fright Night. That's
Yeah.
such a fun
Such a
watch.
fun movie, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we're doing next. People Under the Stairs. That's
What?
Yes.
What?
That's our next movie. So hopefully we can handle that one gently.
That movie's
Oh,
so
no.
fucking
We
campy.
are-
I love it so
No,
much.
we're talking about it. We are talking about people under the stairs.
All right, well, that's going to be our next movie. So with that said, David, where can they find you on the internet?
Facebook at Stop Motion Nightmares, Instagram at Children of Dave, and if you live in Dallas, come on out to Curiosities and Curious Garden to see my horrible. Oh, can I show you guys something?
Yeah, kick it out.
I want to show you my newest creation. Hang on. But yeah, Curiosities and Curious Garden. You come out and see my creepy dioramas. I wanted to show you guys my one I just finished. Getting ready to take it up there. If I can turn it on, there we go. It is the one that's a light inside of an eyeball. So here is the eyeball.
Oh yeah, I saw that on
Here,
Instagram.
that little
earlier.
spider leg.
That's
And
so
you
fucking
open it
dope.
up, and it's got a little girl inside of there with another eyeball, and it's in the fish tank from Walking Dead.
That's so
Freaking
fucking dope.
Very
nice.
nice.
There you go. And you close it
Yeah,
up.
I saw that earlier, dude. I was like, that's bad.
David,
Thank you, sir.
David, do you have any shows coming up?
I will be at. Oh my God, what am I doing? Not this week. Oh, this weekend I'm doing a murder mystery show at Southside Lamar, Edison's, and then the following week I'll be at Hyenas in Fort Worth.
Cool. All right. And you can find us on the internet at wearepodcast.podbean.com. You can check out our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /wearepodcast. Watch the Wappin reviews. I'll be putting out another one hopefully in the next 2 days. And just check us out every Monday for Camp/Horrorcast here live on Twitch. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like I said, next week will be People Under the Stairs. And so we will see you then. Guys, thank you so much for being here and talking this movie with me. And with that, we will cut the stream once I figure out how to do it. There we go.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I hate being sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.